Loveless. Let me tell you something strange that happened online, something that made even quiet people rush back to old videos they had forgotten. The moment Maurice said there was nothing going on between him and Pearl, the whole internet stopped, looked at the camera, and said, "Are you sure?" That reaction alone created one kind of tension you can feel in your chest. Why did his denial sound like something that needed more explanation? Why did people suddenly run back to clips like detectives searching for hidden answers? That suspense took over the gist completely. When viewers started replaying those old clips, the chemistry between Maurice and Pearl didn't help at all, it made everything hotter. You could see them laughing freely, exchanging quick glances that felt warm, and playing around on set like two people who shared a deeper understanding. And immediately, people began asking questions. If everything is innocent, why does their connection look so real? Why does the energy between them feel natural, even off camera? Some fans argued that the denial wasn't suspicious, it was just him clearing the air. But others insisted that when chemistry looks that smooth, people will always doubt simple explanations. And that's why this gist refuses to die. Have you ever seen one single word scatter an entire online community? Because the moment Pearl called Maurice bro, everything changed. Even before the word finished leaving her mouth, fans already paused the video, leaned forward and said, "Wait, bro." That was when the suspense started building like smoke. People wanted to understand why a word meant to calm things down suddenly made everything louder. When you look at Pearl's face in that moment, the softness in her eyes did not match the title at all, and that created even more confusion. After that, fans didn't joke. They started breaking down her tone, her smile, the way her eyes moved, and even how comfortable she looked. Some said, if he's truly her bro, why does she smile like that? Others added, the affection is too visible for this to be ordinary friendship. And that is how the tiny word bro became the center of an argument. People created theories left and right, some saying it was just how she talks, others claiming she was using the word to hide deeper feelings. The reactions became louder than the actual clip, and every new comment added fuel to the conversation. You know when someone speaks with full confidence and thinks that's the end of the story, but instead, everyone becomes even more curious. That's exactly what happened when Maurice addressed the rumors. The suspense started when people noticed he was calm, firm, and serious. But the moment his words were placed side by side with Pearl's usual warm behavior, the gist suddenly doubled in size. Fans felt like something wasn't adding up, and that feeling alone created a fresh wave of questions. People began comparing both of them like they were judging two sides of a coin. Maurice looked like he wanted closure, while Pearl's soft, expressive nature made viewers feel the story was too big to end with one statement. Comments online made it clear, his explanation is firm, but her energy is playful. Others said, their personalities don't match the story they are telling. And that confusion encouraged everyone to create their own version of events. Instead of the statement ending the matter, it became the beginning of new interpretations. The public started shaping the gist themselves, filling every silence with a possible meaning, and that's how the entire conversation refused to settle. Let me tell you one twist that changed everything, something nobody expected. The moment Sonia Uche's name appeared inside this gist, the entire internet behaved like someone opened a new chapter in a book. People started whispering, wait, how did Sonia enter this? That was when the suspense reached a different level. Fans were shocked because her name came with weight, and anytime a respected actress enters a conversation like this, people start digging deeper instantly. Speculation spread so fast that even those who were not following the gist before suddenly became interested. Some viewers said Maurice denied Pearl because of Sonia. Others wondered if there was a connection between them that fans didn't know about. People even dragged out old movie clips, behind-the-scenes moments, interviews, and social media interactions just to see if something was hiding in plain sight. But the funniest part? None of the three, Maurice, Pearl, or Sonia, ever confirmed anything. Yet the theories kept growing and linking themselves like a spiderweb. The gist didn't need facts, the presence of Sonia alone was enough to keep people talking non-stop. Bro, have you seen what happens when viewers fall in love with a movie couple? They don't just watch, they investigate. The suspense began the minute people noticed the natural connection between Maurice and Pearl on screen. Instead of enjoying the scenes, fans started treating the clips like evidence. Their eyes locked too perfectly. Their smiles matched too smoothly. Their gestures looked too comfortable. Immediately, the internet turned into a giant examination room. People started zooming into clips, replaying scenes, and slowing down videos just to catch any small movement that looked too real. They analyzed body language like professionals, saying things like, "Look at how he leans toward her," or "See how she looks at him before smiling." Even small hand movements became clues. Fans were determined to separate acting from reality. Some believed their connection was pure talent, while others argued that no two people could create such chemistry without something personal behind it. And every new movie they acted together only increased the detective work, turning a simple on-screen bond into a full investigation. You know a gist is strong when people start fighting for it like it's their personal matter. The suspense began when fans realized that Maurice and Pearl's friendship didn't look ordinary, it looked layered. Something about the way they talk, laugh, and stand around each other made people feel like there was more beneath the surface. And once viewers form emotional attachment, they start defending their own interpretation like lawyers. Online arguments erupted everywhere. One group said the bond clearly hinted at romance. Another group insisted it was simply deep friendship and nothing more. But instead of the arguments coming down, they grew louder each day. People wrote long comments, created threads, and even dragged old videos into discussions just to prove their point. Theories kept multiplying, each one built on emotions, assumptions, and personal observations. It didn't matter that none of the actors confirmed anything, the fans had already created their own universe around the friendship. Have you ever seen two people whose personalities alone are enough to create a gist? That's exactly what happened here. The suspense started when people noticed the contrast, Maurice speaking boldly and Pearl appearing gentle and calm. The difference in energy was so clear that fans paused and said, "Wait, this combination is too interesting." And just like that, the conversation started trending again. People began analyzing both sides. They said Maurice's strong tone made him look like someone trying to put an end to the gist, while Pearl's soft responses made it look like there was more she wasn't saying. That contrast created a magnetic pull that kept their names everywhere. Fans argued that their opposite personalities were the main reason this gist never dies. Others said the balance between bold and gentle is exactly what makes people curious. And honestly, with both energies clashing and blending at the same time, the gist had no choice but to stay trending. There's something powerful about old videos, once they resurface, they cause more trouble than new ones. The suspense began when fans rushed back into past clips of Maurice and Pearl, looking for anything that felt too natural. And the moment they saw how easily the two laughed together, how their eyes followed each other, or how they moved in sync, everything changed. People created fresh interpretations instantly. They asked why their reactions looked so real, why they connected so smoothly, and why their energy didn't feel forced. Some viewers said the vibe was too warm for simple colleagues. Others insisted it was just acting, but their voices were drowned by those who believed something deeper was hiding between the lines. Every old clip brought a new angle, a new theory, a new explanation. The curiosity didn't die, it grew every time someone pressed a replay. Sometimes silence speaks louder than explanations. The suspense started when fans noticed that after Maurice gave his firm statement, Pearl didn't try to match that firmness, she stayed warm, gentle, and expressive as usual. That imbalance made viewers pause instantly. It felt like watching a movie where one character reveals something and the other reacts softly, making you wonder what's going on behind the scenes. People started asking their own questions. Why does he sound finer while she looks calm? Are they tired of the gist or simply avoiding something bigger? The audience created a full storyline from the difference in their responses. The more Pearl stayed natural, the more people believed the story wasn't finished. It became one of those gists where every small action becomes a clue, and public interpretation becomes louder than the actual truth. That is how the gist continued, even when both of them tried to move on. There are some stories where the more people talk, the blurrier everything becomes. The suspense here began the moment Maurice strongly denied the rumors, but instead of calming things down, the denial created a new wave of curiosity. People rushed back to every clip, every interview, every smile, asking themselves why the chemistry still looked so natural. The questions became louder than his explanation. Fans kept saying, if there's nothing going on, why does their connection feel so deep? Others asked why their chemistry remained so strong, on-screen and off-screen. The unanswered questions kept piling up. Even when people tried to move on, one small clip or one innocent interaction brought the gist right back. And that's how this story became one of those gist topics that refuses to end, one denial, too much chemistry, and a million interpretations. And that's the full breakdown, guys. This gist keeps unfolding like a movie with no final scene. Stay locked in, because more angles can drop at any moment. Bye.